Well, it seems to me that to lift water to the high plains for irrigating cotton would not be very practical. The pumping cost gets very high. Remember, on the top of these numbers I just gave you, you're going to have to add maybe a factor of 2 to account for the depreciation of the capital equipment involved, which brings their water price very high.
Is there a better place to get water?
Well, perhaps, but it's going a long way off. You may have to have a scheme such as the Feather River Project in California, where you try to bring it down at constant elevation. And our nearest source would be to head way north in the U.S. and tap the rivers much nearer their headwaters and bring them down in a high-level canal where it's primarily not working against gravity but with it.
Do you know of sources of water that might be available in that area?
Well, there seems to be a fair amount of excess water in the far north in Canada, but this is a problem of international scope. The nearest place probably within the U.S. would be the headwaters of the Missouri River or someplace of this sort, where there are very large water supplies. Probably not as large as you want, but they're probably more practical than Mississippi at the present time.
Well, teachers are somewhat apathetic in many respects, but I don't think that we are any more apathetic than any other segment of our population in this particular respect.
We hear a lot of conversation about what the teachers should do in regards to finding out what goes on with the students. Do the teachers have an outlet to find out what's on the students' minds in a real sense?
You know, we're really so busy teaching all these things we have to teach all day long that we have very little time to counsel with our students. We have some opportunity for conversation with them, but not to the extent that we can know everything that's going on.
Do you think that perhaps in one respect the teachers and the principals even and the administration don't really know what's going on with the students?
As a teacher, I personally feel that sometimes I don't know what's going on with the students, and it's not altogether my fault because I don't have time to get into these things. I don't have the opportunity. But on the other hand, it is partly my fault for not showing a greater interest in some of these other areas outside the classroom.
At the time I left, we estimated there were 40,000 North Vietnamese troops inside of Laos. So it would be my opinion that, and I'm not on the political side of the department, that in a very short time the communists would take over Laos completely. This would immediately endanger Thailand, who is our closest ally in the war with North Vietnam, or in Vietnam. So it's extremely important that we hold Laos the part that we can.
Laos, despite being a neutralist country, is a host in a sense to the Ho Chi Minh Trail. How is it that we can be spending so much money in aid to this country and the Viet Cong still be reinforcing their troops in South Vietnam through this country?
Well, under the Geneva Accords, Laos is a neutral country, and at the present time, the enemy, our enemy, holds 2/3 of that country, and the Ho Chi Minh Trail happens to be in the 2/3 over which we have no control. By control, I don't mean in the literal sense. It's that part which is controlled by Savanapuma and the active legislature. The central and what would be the eastern part of Laos are under enemy control.
We're speaking now of political control.
Political control, that's correct. And so for that reason, we have no way to stop those trucks from moving.
Is there any danger of the United States becoming involved in a Laotian war the same as we became involved in a Vietnamese war?
I don't think so, actually. In our opinion, you cannot divorce the two wars. You cannot divorce the problem in Laos from the one in North Vietnam. When you look at the map and see that we are even far north of the DMZ, you just can't separate our problems from those of Vietnam.